Okay, so apparently we're live. Took me a second. I forgot that I have to hit the start stream on YouTube after hitting stream on OBS. So that was kind of a pain in the butt, but here we are. Okay, so since I didn't do comments on Friday, I think I kind of wanted to tackle a few of them today in the live stream. Of course, I need to, well, let's do this. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start with ones from 3 weeks ago. This one's from Lester Smith. Hello, I have a question. What does TB has taken notice mean? That kind of depends, because if they've taken notice, it could be a good thing, but then again, it could be a bad thing. I've never had them send me a message directly saying that they've taken notice, but I have caught the attention of many a text broker manager who used to send me direct emails, and then they would ask me to join certain teams. So I joined a 5-star team when I was only 4 stars, because I was really good at what I did. But for TB to say that they've taken notice, I don't know. I guess it depends on the context. Top moments. That's new. I'm playing around with the YouTube streaming software here. Let's see, what else do we got? Bunch of well wishers for my October tragedies, and I'd like to thank you all, Ron Kincaid and Foot and Mouth, and everybody else who sent me a lot of well wishes and stuff. It was a really trying month, but I'm making it. A lot to go over, but thank you all for your support. There's one from Shyman. I can't find your second channel because I have too many subscriptions. Maybe you should add it here on the page other channels. I did, actually. I added Crossing Colorado and Colorado Plays to the other channels that are shown on my channel at Rider Sanctuary. And those are two that I kind of play around with. Crossing Colorado I haven't really done much with. It's like a fitness, trying to lose weight website. I'm going to start adding more to it though, because I've done quite a bit since then. And yeah, I like doing those videos anyway because I like trolling myself in them. So Colorado Plays is more centered around gaming and the things you can do in Colorado, and we do a lot of charity work with Extra Life and Geeks of Grandeur and all those other ones. So if you haven't seen that one, I just started Colorado Plays, and I'll be uploading a new video later on this week. Hope. Depends on what I got going on, but kind of a bummer because I was doing a hardcore. It was a hardcore. I wanted it to be a series of videos for Minecraft, but I died in the 3rd episode, so I had to restart it. Let's see who else we got here. This one's from Taiwan John. I had signed up on TixBroker a few months ago and was waiting to get my ID verified when I got wrapped up in another project. A few weeks later, TB sent an email saying they were backed up on ID verifications and would keep me updated every 2 weeks. They didn't, but I was busy with the other project, so I didn't mind. Then a couple of weeks ago, I finished the other project and sent them an email to ask what's going on. No reply, but a few days ago, they sent a bulk email saying me and all the others on backlog, could delete our old accounts and start over using Payoneer, because with Payoneer they don't need to verify IDs at all. So hopefully I'll get approved without delays this time. Oh, that's good to know. I will be signing up with Payoneer soon too, because well, if I write for TextBroker next year, I want to get paid for it. Though I am a little on the fence about why they're moving. I know that Payoneer is a bit cheaper when paying in bulk, but the whole verification part, I'm not sure if I'm really keen on that. It just seems like it's taking out a security measure. But I don't know, that's what they're doing, so I guess we'll wait and see and cross our fingers. AA Synip. I swear I've done this already once. So does this mean that we cannot use PayPal anymore for TextBroker to receive payments? Up until December 31st. Starting January 1st of next year, everything's going to be going through Payoneer. That's according to TextBroker. So for now, we can still use PayPal. And I would prefer to use PayPal because I have a PayPal business card, which is where everybody else pays me. So, whatever. Let's see, and then Nawazish Ali. I hope I said that right. I want to know about it all and how to start writing it. This is from 8 TextBroker writing tips to help land clients. And I went through a series of back and forths on the video with Nawazish. And essentially, they were asking if they can write from Pakistan. And unfortunately, for TextBroker.com, you cannot write from Pakistan. It's because they use a W-9 taxing system for here in the US. I'm not sure about TextBroker UK though. So if anybody is interested in writing for TextBroker outside of the United States, give the .uk a look over and see if it might be better suited. Shimon, hello, how's it going? I just went over one of your comments. I don't know if you were here. It's a 30-second delay, so you probably got the last half of it. Let's see. I'm doing comments today in the live stream because I didn't get a chance to do the video on Friday. So, Tubular442 says, nope. Hi Michael, check out Sam Harris's speech on All We Have Is Now. It offered me some perspective when I was in a difficult place in my life. That's part of my issues from last month after losing my son and a close family friend. Got a TextBroker question for you. You mentioned the web surveys team as one where people claim to have been making money and making some money. Every time I try to complete an order, it tells me I have too many incorrect answers and I haven't been able to complete one yet. For example, it will ask you to copy and paste the last bit of text on the page, but you can never really tell what they are referring to. Do they want the very last text on the page or the last sentence of the article? Do you have any clarity to offer on the subject? There's nobody to contact to ask for help. Thanks. Unfortunately, Tubular, I haven't had a chance to do them. I'm on that specific team. But I haven't had a chance to do anything yet because I've been so busy with my other side projects and then with being the content marketing team lead of Green Geeks. My day's pretty filled. But I would like to give the web surveys team a try and see what it's all about. So hopefully, if I come across a good answer, I'll let you know. Chris Wild, HM. Says, thank you for a realistic and helpful video. You seem to focus on TextBroker. Any thoughts or opinions about other services, maybe Constant Content or iWriter? I have employment writing work, but I'm brand new to this style of freelancing. Constant Content and iWriter. I've toyed around a bit with Constant Content. That was a few years ago, and I'm going to do a first look on it here in the near future. Can't remember if it's this week or next week, but I'm doing one on that and Contently. And iWriter I haven't played with yet, so I'm gonna write that one down so I can take a look at that. Let's see, with paying services, things that actually paid me so far was TextBroker, obviously, and Writer Access. iWriter. Those are the two biggest ones that have paid me the most money. Writer Access, back in the day, used to pay once a month. So I'd jump back and forth between TextBroker and Writer Access, and then I'd claim my weekly pay from TextBroker and then monthly from Writer Access, and had a pretty even flow of income coming. And, I also have done a lot of work on Fiverr. I'm on the fence with Fiverr, because the amount of time it takes me to write content for clients, when I break it down per hour how much I make, because I will do one order after another, when I compare the two, I make far more money on TextBroker than I can on Fiverr. It's a good system. I prefer TextBroker over it. But there are a lot of different ways you can make money on Fiverr. So like if you wanted to do graphic design work on top of writing, then that'd be great, because then you can charge a little bit of extra on top of that. Okay, this one's from Foot and Mouth. She changed her name. You need to take care of yourself. I'm so sorry about your son and your friend / brother. Hope the holiday season will help lift your spirits a bit. Embrace life and your family and friends. Take it day by day. That's very good advice, and it's getting easier. I'm getting over everything, or not really over, but getting through everything. And like this morning, I don't know what got in me. I just got this whole let's do this attitude, and I've been way productive today. And yeah, so there's that. Chris Wild writes another one. Yes, please do a common usage video. This was back on putting myself back together after a horrible month, and talked about doing different videos, and one of them was can't remember if I was mentioning doing a comma usage video, because that was my biggest issue at Textbroker for like a year and a half. It's what kept me from hitting 4 stars for the longest time, and I still haven't mastered commas, but it's got a lot easier. Once you start doing it over and over and over, it starts becoming a habit. Speaking of habit, coffee. And yes, sorry. Shyman, I do have some matcha tea in my kitchen, but I'm not going to drink it this late at night. Alrighty, so do a common usage video. That's probably going to be one on the list. I've got kind of a tentative thing that I wanted to do, break down how to write an article from start to finish, and mostly it's to help one of my friends. She wants to write for the blog, but the way she writes is, it would take me all day to edit it. I might as well just write it myself. So she gave me the idea of doing a breakdown of the whole thing. So common usage is definitely in there. Intros, how to set up headers and sections and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of things planned. Hopefully I can get to them all. Let's see. And yeah, I've tried the matcha tea, and it's different. I like it. I wasn't bouncing off the walls like I thought I was, but then again, I have a caffeine addiction, so it's going to take an awful lot. But it's not bad. So matcha tea, definitely good. Let's see. Here's one from Steve Hutchins. This was from the Steemit video that I did recently. Try going to your wallet, keys and permissions, posting key. Click the reveal button for your private posting key. Copy that very long number, go back to your login and paste it into the password field. Right now, Steemit is no way to make money, but if you're into social media, writing, and cryptocurrency, it may be a fun way to spend some time. This was because I was having problems. It was an epic failure. I forgot what my password is, and there's no way to reset a password on Steemit.com. So I'm like, oh, guess that's over. But the problem with this, though, is that when I try to click on show the private posting key, it asks for my password and login. Well, I don't have my password, so I can't get the posting key. But yeah, like with Steemit, from what I see of it, it's not bad if you wanted to just kind of blow some time. But if you're looking for a good solid way to make money online, I don't see it being a viable way to do it full time. But if you're messing around one night and you spend an hour on it, then you're getting paid for posting and commenting and liking stuff. So interaction is key. So think of it like Facebook without the pizzazz, and they pay you. I'm not a big fan of cryptocurrency though, so, well, not yet. I see potential in it, but I'm a realist. So when I'm writing, I need to be able to spend that money. Like, I've been asked before, would I accept Bitcoin for writing? And I would have to say no, because, well, Safeway, Walmart, gas stations, and bill collectors don't take Bitcoin. So, and it would just be too much of a hassle, mostly because I'm lazy, to cash in the Bitcoin. So, and I know I'd forget about it, and it would probably decrease in value to the point where it wouldn't be worth it. Still, one day it might be something viable. Kizaru Melon asks, can you have more than one Textbroker author account? No. They are pretty strict about that too. If they catch you using more than one account, you'll lose them both. And I wouldn't want to do that anyway because, well, for starters, it's all ready. It's all your tax information. So, yeah, definitely don't do that. Well, I guess that's it. Wow. Didn't really have all that many. Damn it. Mostly it's because I haven't really been all that active lately. That's going to change. I got a lot of things planned out. Like tomorrow, I think I'm doing. Tomorrow I'm doing a first look at Contently. And it looks kind of cool. Not sure how it's going to work out for making money, but that's on my list. And then Thursday, I can't remember what video I was doing on Thursday. Oh, that one is a kind of a breakdown of how to get freelancing writing jobs with no experience. This is, I know there's lots of lists on the internet regarding that, but this is my list from a realistic point of view. So, and a lot of the stuff I did myself. So it's not just one of those lists I just pulled out of thin air and out of my ass and cross my fingers and hope everybody likes it. It's actually something I put into practice. So, but I only planned out this week. So next week, I want to do another first look. God, I got so many first looks that I want to do because there's like constant content is definitely on my high on my list because I like the way it lays out. It's not like TextBroker where you have to go through the open pool and cross your fingers and get a job or whatever. It's a bit more difficult because you can write whatever you want, but you have to make sure you write something that somebody wants to read. Otherwise, no one's going to buy it. So when you got so you got to come up with something really good, but the on the other side of it is that you'll make far more money. Mr. Black says, "Hello, fellow human being. Hello, fellow human being, Mr. Black. I'm as human as they come. In fact, I've been suffering through an inner ear infection for the past 2 months to prove that I am human. Sometimes I wonder, though." But anyway, with constant content, it's pretty cool. When I looked at it, it was a couple of years ago when I was playing around with it. The editors on constant content are a lot like TextBroker. Well, you'll submit your piece, and then they'll go through and send it back for revisions. And if you follow their revision requests and fix it all up, then you can post it on their website. At which point, you give potential clients a snippet of the piece so they can see how it's written and stuff before they buy it. So I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money on it, but I also posted 2 pieces myself that didn't sell. But the articles weren't really all that well. They lacked quite a bit of flair, but that was a long time ago, so I'm kind of eager to try it again. How is the cosmic constant treating you? Like a baby treats a diaper. No, actually, it's not too bad. I've got my coffee. I would say I've got my health, but my inner ear infection is preventing that. but light teaches us for free. Yeah, true. I'm actually in a fairly positive mood today. Today I've been like jazzed, and I only had like half a serving of my Emerge, so it's not like I'm even tweaked out on caffeine or anything like that. I just feel really good. Today was a really good start to a day. With aside from not being able to hear out of one of my ears, but aside from that, yeah. I think the end of 2019 is going to be far better than the rest of the year combined. It's just a really, really rough time. And having to give all my money to my kids is awesome. Good, yeah. Yeah. How are you doing? Is the cosmic constant treating you well? I hope so. I don't know if I'm a baby bitch, right? This is why my videos have outtakes or jump cuts. because I get wrapped up in stumbling. I'm an Irish drug user. Well, gotta have hobbies, I guess. Wait a second. So does that mean that you are Irish and a drug user? Or do you use Irish drug people? Irish? Or is there Irish drugs that you use in particular? Irish? I don't know. There's all kinds of ways that sentence can go. I'm a caffeine user. Guess that works. Life is a trip? Ah. Until you fall flat on your face, bust your nose. But that's part of the journey. Because, yeah. Both Irish drug users, and you use Irish drug people. Hey, whatever works for you, man. As long as you're happy, who's to say you're doing it wrong? Yeah, I shouldn't say that then, because then I'm going to get hammered on YouTube or something that I'm promoting drug use. I'm assuming that you're joking, and that's fine, but it's not like they can demonetize me anyway. I mean, come on now. I'm not important enough to monetize, so fuck it. Yet. Well, one day I might hit it, but not sure if that'll ever happen anytime in the near future. Statistically, I should be able to monetize my channel in 2 years, so it's all good. It's not why I do it. I'm not in it for the money. Without God, we are all lost souls. I'm not the most religious person on the planet. I'm not adverse to the idea of a higher power, but I'm not going to follow blindly, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really all that religious. I guess the closest thing I would be is Buddhist. Moderation? I don't know. I know that moderation has helped me lose a lot of weight. That's neither here nor there. Wow, this video kind of took a turn, didn't it? Went from freelance writing. Hey, I said AMA, so if you have anything to ask me, feel free. Anyway, recently I did a video on writer's block. I liked it. Still having a hard time trying to get things going. Not because I have writer's block though, but mostly because I either forget that I want to do something or I get sidetracked with doing other projects. And I think that's where Asana comes into play. Ever since I started using Asana to manage my day, everything's been a lot easier. So, there's that. Oh, I have excellent connection again. Keeps bouncing back and forth. Says that my bit rate for sound was 0. So if you didn't hear me, sorry about that. Oh, what else can we talk about today? I was debating on doing some TextBroker courses for Writer Sanctuary. How to succeed and all that. And I still might do those. The thing is that I know I get a lot of traffic for my TextBroker videos, but I would rather do so much more. I do so much more. No, Felicia M sends a novel. Good evening. I recently discovered you. I've been making TextBroker my full-time work. Thank you for your vids, and your blog has a ton of good resources. I went through a bunch of your vids and want to send my condolences for your son. And I really appreciate all the hard all the hard work you've done. Keep it up. I look forward to your stuff. Weed. That was random. Like any extra special TextBroker tips? Swag. Are you just like randomly throwing out words there, Mr. Black? Let's see, extra TextBroker tips that I haven't done in video or blog form. Probably, I got a couple. I don't know if you've probably seen the videos for it, but my biggest pet peeve for when it comes to writers, especially on TextBroker, is a lot of the authors don't seem to care, and it's annoying from a client perspective. For example, I know a lot of writers who will I don't know, take forever to respond to a client. And then when they do respond, they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've been away, and I'll promise I'll get this done." So when you reassign it and you give them 3, 4, 5 days to do it, and they still don't do it, I don't know. You got to be professional. It's 1:26 here. Aha, so it's late for you. Go do some Irish drugs. I know what it feels like at 1:26 in the morning. I get a little loopy. Let's see, but for Felicia, your professionalism matters a lot. Like, I'm a big proponent of communication. Always keeping communication with a client. Like, send them thank you letters or touch base with them like 2 or 3 months down the road. Ask them, I did this article for you. I would like to know if there's anything else that I can do for you. Feel free to let me know. Stuff like that. Keep you in their mind. And see, another good one is do a Textbroker article as quickly as possible. Don't take if someone gives you 3 days to do an article, take 30 minutes. From the first day, I would pick them up and go as quickly as possible. So I'd like boom, 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 do them because you make more money that way, and if you have a fast turnaround, there's a good chance that client will start sending you direct orders. And I got quite a few direct orders because of my speed. So when you pick up an order, even if it says you have a week to do it, finish it off as quickly as possible. Make sure it's all done right, but as quickly as possible, get it out of the way, pick up another one, just keep the flow going. There were times where I would write for like 4 hours straight before I would take a break, mostly because I'd forget. You just pick it up and just blam, blam, blam. $5 here, even 91 cents there if it takes you like a minute and a half to do it. I mean, just crank them all out as quickly as possible. Just make sure that you're accurate, and your pieces are full of facts, and you're not just blowing smoke, because clients will hammer you for that. Not 420 anytime. Weed is fine. Cannabis, tobacco, joints, and beer personally for myself. See, in here in Colorado, all that stuff is legal. Unfortunately, marijuana makes me extremely sick. I get like nauseous like you wouldn't believe, and so I can't touch it. I do support legalizing it, but unfortunately I can't partake. Were you on meth? Oh, no. The thing is that when I start writing, is that I look at everything as how much can I make per hour. So if I take an article that's 500 words, if I can get it done inside 20 minutes, I can pick up another one real quick and do it again. And all that money adds up. And at the end of the day, I break down, well, how much did I make per hour? Usually, I would range between $12 and $15 per hour as a 3-star. When I got my 4, and I started getting on some of the better teams, on certain days, I would make almost close to $30 an hour because the team at work would just fly right through it. Hash? I've never tried hash. I'm not really into things that really mess with my mind. I like to drink. I love wine. I love amaretto. Fireball is one of my favorites. Fireball and Dr. Pepper. But I really don't. I don't know. I've never really got into the whole drug scene. I tried a few things when I was younger. Just couldn't get into it. So it's not, for me, it's not a big loss. I'm high on life. I hate that saying. What's another good one for you for Textbroker? As quickly as possible. Pay attention to your clients. Always have your profile filled out. Of course, you probably already know that. I've done a couple of videos on that, and I've done like 3 or 4 blog posts about it. Keep your profile up to date. Every 6 months, write some new samples. Go back at your abilities, because as you write, your skills are going to increase. Your skills are going to get better. So when you looking back at your first samples, you'll start thinking to yourself, oh, what the hell was I writing? So always keep your samples updated at least. Smoke hash like in Amsterdam. It is easier on the stomach. Well, I don't know. I think that's one drug that I've never tried. Don't know if I've ever really wanted to. or if I have ever had the opportunity. Most of my family is pot smokers, so Dad smokes it for medical reasons, and actually he has a legitimate medical reason to smoke it, but he didn't before. But anyway, yeah, I'm not a big don't know. I've always wanted to try a hallucinogen until I hallucinated from a lack of sleep, and that scared the shit out of me. I really appreciate it. Hey, no problem. Anything I can do to help. It essentially creates competition for me, but whatever. I'm fine with that. I don't really spend that much time on Textbooker lately anyway, mostly because I am so busy. But I do like to get on there once in a while. I got some messages I have to respond to. And I definitely got to change my Payoneer stuff, so that's going to be fun. And I think I'm going to start scheduling at least once a week to write for Textbroker just so I can keep up on it. That's another good one. Oh, forums. If you ever get bored and you want to like reach out to other authors or get some answers to other questions, the forums are a great place. I came across a lot of stuff in the forums. And I don't know, sometimes you come across some authors that really don't know what they're talking about, so if you want to take some advice from the forums, just use some common sense with it. Ash from Amsterdam is like in various strength like liquor. Oh. Okay. Don't know. I've never traveled outside the country. I've always been. So let's see. Omaha. When I went to WordCamp Omaha, I think that was the furthest east I've ever been. Maybe because I stood on the Bridge Bob, so I was technically in Iowa. But that's the furthest east I've ever been. Furthest west I've ever been was Santa Monica, the pier across the Pacific Ocean. I love Santa Monica. I miss it. That's where I started. That's where I got this, actually. Coffee bean. I bought this mug while living in Mar Vista. Yeah, I'd go out to the pier and get what we call the White Rabbit, which is white chocolate caramel latte, and go stay on the pier and watch the sunset. Most beautiful thing in the world. Ireland loves cannabis. All right. Well, then you would fit right in Colorado. As soon as they legalized it here, they had to pass a law a couple years ago, because in the Denver metro alone there was 1,200 dispensaries. I'm like, wow. So we had them on every corner. And I used to joke, because I'm originally from Utah, and so I joked that Colorado has as many liquor stores as Utah has Mormon temples, because there's one on every corner. But man, I think the dispensaries beat out the alcohol by a lot. And it does make more money than the alcohol too, so. But there was just so many of them that they had to start curtailing it back a little bit. Because it was like every other building was a dispensary. And I love Ireland. Nice. Ireland's one of those places I want to go to. My family is originally from England. We migrated here in the late 1800s. So I would like to go see a lot of that stuff where I come from. And I know Ireland and England are not the same thing, but the whole area, I'd like to visit the United Kingdom as a whole. Sure, the banks control everything? Well, yeah. Well, banks control everything and everything. All the time. Which is why a lot of people support cryptocurrency. But, you know, when the banks control everything, at least the money stays somewhat stable-ish, depending on the situation and who's your president. But cryptocurrency fluctuates so rapidly that it could be worthless. It could be worth like tens of thousands of dollars one minute and then pennies the next. So I'm not a real big fan of cryptocurrency, but I do like the idea of blockchain. Because with at least with blockchain, it would make things like voting booths and well, shit, just about any data-driven information on the internet would be far more secure. But I'm also a firm believer in as soon as someone builds something, somebody else is going to find a way to get around it. Like when the police first came out with radars to catch speeders. Well, someone built a radar detector. So then the cops developed laser technology so they can use lasers. And then someone built laser detection and paint that disperses lasers, so gets around that. So I know that if blockchain ever became mainstream, someone would find a way to screw with it. Blarney Castle, Cork City, the place where love was born. Blarney Castle, Cork City. Yep, Blarney. I have a problem trying to read the text because I need new glasses desperately. So I'm sorry if I mispronounce something. But yeah, I really want to check out Ireland. All the European countries, actually. There's just so much history there. And I'm a big fan of history of any kind. So like, I would love to go to Italy, France, Ireland, England, definitely. Yeah, lots of cool stuff there. I guess we have our history here. It's just not nearly as long. I mean, it's the last 200 years. We don't even have really cool buildings that are centuries old because Americans like to knock shit down. So I would love to go see like the Rome. Definitely want to go to Rome, like the Colosseum. Stonehenge. I'd like to see that in person. Egypt, as long as it's a good summer. So it all depends. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other textbook or tips I can give that I haven't done in a video. Can't think of any. I'll have to go through. I'm not sure what I've done. But if you like Textbroker, you might want to give Writer Access a try. It's kind of similar to Textbroker, but it a bit different, and they added a bunch of stuff to it. Contently looks pretty cool. There's one that I wrote down. I don't know where I wrote it, but it looks pretty cool too. What was it? No, maybe it wasn't Contently. Contently is more for freelancers of all kinds, so not just writers. So if you can do graphic design or I think web design is another one of them. There's a few different things to it, so that's going to be kind of cool. In reality, we have not evolved much lately, to be honest. Are you speaking generally about humanity? Because I'd have to agree. But yeah, it's almost like sometimes when you walk around, you see it's almost like we devolved, if that's possible. I know it here in the States it is. I don't know. There's something else. I'm a sucker for the Irish accent. Oh, I'm a sucker for accents in general. Like I like watching. There's a couple of people on YouTube that I watch that are, let's see, one's in Ireland, one's in where is it? One of those smaller places. I can't think of it offhand. She has a really wicked cool accent. I think Magdalena Helen's also in Ireland, or close to it. I love her accent too. In reality, we have not. Let's see. Canada is at the front of the cannabis revolution. Probably. I don't know. There's a lot of. We probably would be too if it wasn't for all the older farmers, the baby boomers. Anybody born in the 50s. We did a number on people, with commercials. And so it's getting there. More states are getting on the bandwagon, but awesome. Thanks, because I'm a stay-at-home mom with a 1 and 3-year-old, so working from home is my only option pretty much. Hey, I first started Textbroker when I was working at the school district. I was making $8 an hour as IT, one step below being a network administrator. You'd think being a network administrator would make you more than $8 an hour. Not in the armpit of Colorado. So I started writing to supplement some income, and it got to the point where I was making like double what I was getting paid for the school district, so I quit. But I've been freelancing from home. I haven't had a traditional job since 2013. And I like anything that's you can come across that will make you money. Now, there's a lot of things I've come across that didn't pan out well, and I'll point those out. Hub pages. A lot of people say they make all this money on hub pages, but I've only made like 12 cents. And Vocal Media is another one. Those two, Hub Pages and Vocal Media, are great if you want to get in practice on how to write blogs and how to write for clients. Especially if you don't have your own blog, that way you can practice writing and you might make a few bucks on top of it. So, but for those two, you don't put all your eggs in those two baskets. It's good for practice, not much else. I think one time I calculated my average income from Vocal Media, and I'd be able to hit the threshold to pay out in 20 years. So, but it's great practice. Isn't alien technology a way for them to observe us? To Canada? Is Canada using alien technology to observe people? Or the US? Isn't alien technology a way for them to observe us? I'm not sure who them are. Banks? All of the above. Everybody is observing us. Hell, for all we know, the NSA is watching this video as we speak. And if so, cheers. I'm in a real good mood today. I think part of that's because I'm still drinking coffee and it's like 6:43 in the afternoon. So yeah, Writer Access is definitely one that pays out. When I first was writing for them, I didn't get a lot of work right off the bat. But then again, TextBroker was still kind of new, and so they didn't have a lot of work, so I just bounced back and forth. And I got to the point where I started getting on regular teams and stuff, so that's the only reason why I stopped using Writer Access, because it's virtually the same system. You get paid about the same amount of money. I just kept more busy on TextBroker. So if you wanted to give that a shot, that's a good system. HireWriters.com is kind of iffy. I've made, I think, $10 on it, but the way it's all laid out, they pride themselves on having the cheapest rates on the internet, but then that also means that they don't pay their writers crap. So when you go to content mills like that, and they start boasting to their clients that they can get all this content for cheap, also translates to they're cheap on their writers. Otherwise, you're not making any money anyway. So always keep an eye out for stuff like that, because you don't want to spend all your day trying to make $5 throughout an entire 24-hour period. How did radio become live broadcasting in your palm? I've been unemployed since 2012, like back in 94 when I turned 18. I've been Oh! Wow. I'm not stoned. It just took me a second. You didn't have any punctuation in there, so it's like really screwed up with what I was trying to read. How did your radio become live broadcasting in your palm? So, in your palm. Took me a second. I caught it. Evolution of technology. Anytime that there's a need for technology, there's going to be a market for it. So, like, we went from smartphones, cordless phones, then everybody wanted a handheld device. And so they dumped a bunch of money into that. Thank you, Apple. Unfortunately, that's the way the world works. So like with solar technology, you know that we've been able to do photovoltaic electricity for about 100 years now, but there was no public outcry for it, so the market got squashed until recently. So anytime there is a marketable boon for anything, they're going to take it. Ron Kincaid says, hello Ron. I just did viewer comments earlier, so yours was one there. I thanked you for your well wishes, and thank you very much for caring about my issues from last month. Things are getting a lot easier. Maybe the aliens have given us this Android platform to ask them questions. Wouldn't that be awesome? So, like, if you ask, when you say, hey Google, where am I now?
Here's a map of the area near your home.
That would be an alien replying. So anyway, and Samantha Larson says hello. Hello to Samantha. Oh wow, I got sidetracked. What was I talking about? I thought I was... Wow, not a clue. Ron said hello. Oh, we are trying to decipher Mr. Black's comment because he didn't use a single punctuation mark, so I couldn't figure out what he was saying. Unemployed since 2012, like back in 94 when I was 18. Okay, so okay, that part I got. Unemployed is kind of bad, man. Like my son. Ugh. I've given more money to my son the past 2 months than ever. Like every week, it's like, can I borrow $10? Can I borrow $20? Meep meep says Colorado skies. Meep meep. Vroom vroom, I go boom. Zoom zoom, I go boom. Beep beep, I'm a Jeep. You either believe in aliens or you're brain dead. Brain dead. No, you would have to, I wouldn't say brain dead, but naive maybe. Like, I'm a firm believer that in this vast universe, that there's more than just us. In fact, I bet there's more than just us just in the solar system. It might be micro, it might be bacteria on some planet, but we're not the only ones doing this game. In fact, I bet we're not even the most advanced. If you think about it, the planet goes through an ice age period, a mass extinction event every 26,000 years. If the planet is 4 billion years old, we're nowhere near where we could be. How about that one? And I'm all about the science, and science shows that we're not the only ones out there. Green crack, THC, hook it to my veins. Yeah. Enjoy. Like I said, there's times where I wish that I could just go down and buy something. And I tried edibles, but I don't know, even the edibles make me feel weird. I don't like it. I have nothing against it. Smoke all you like, but I'm not a big fan of it myself. Aliens are entirely possible, as the universe is apparently infinite, so there's no way they don't exist. True. And I bet, oh, look, I have a new subscriber. That would be my daughter. 338 subscribers. I'd say about 10% of them are family. It works. Yeah, there's I don't know, there's a lot of things out there that are unexplained. But I'm also more of a scientific mind. So I'm not going to say, if I see something that I can't explain, I'm not going to say, oh, it's magical or that it was God's intent, because that's not how it works. There's always a reason. You just have to figure it out. Preach, brother. Oh, yeah. So we have ourselves another alien fanatic, which is awesome. But yeah, I hope I don't offend anybody. I'm just not very religious. I believe that every question has an answer. We just have to find it out. And over the past 2,000 years, we have questioned a lot of stuff, and we've answered most of it. So, I don't know. I'm too much of a scientist, I guess. Because, yeah, that's how I roll. In fact, I was debating on writing a story. And this is before Red Planet, I think it was. A movie came out about a decade ago. I was coming up with a new story about how humanity actually started on Mars, and we escaped to Earth in the form of DNA capsules, because an alien species was about to wipe us out. And so it came from Mars and populated Earth. But then freaking I think it was Red Planet. One of the movies came out and was like almost my story verbatim. So I'm like, son of a bitch. They beat me to it. At least you can't die from cannabis. That's true. Well, you can, just not directly. If you get high off your gourd and go drive your car and smash it into a telephone pole and kill yourself, that would be a death. But I haven't seen that happen. In fact, here in Colorado, one of the things at the very beginning was how people were saying it's going to increase DUIs. People are going to be driving on the road all the time high, and there's going to be all these car accidents and stuff. And since they legalized it, our traffic mortality has actually gone down. So that theory was shot full of shit. You're forgetting how old the cosmos is. Oh, yeah. 13.8 billion years is the common consensus. That's a lot of time. So, at the 13 billion year, almost 14 billion years that the universe has been in existence, we've only been here not even a fraction of the time. Hi to Annika. Not you, all of us. Yeah. Awesome. I really don't know how to answer that one. But yeah. I'm a big believer in aliens and stuff. I've seen some shit that I can't explain. I can't say it was aliens, but it was definitely under the premise of UFO, unidentified flying object. I couldn't identify it. It was flying. It was definitely an object. I can't say it was aliens. It was just unidentifiable. My aliens want to ask me a so-mething. What? My aliens? Any aliens want to ask me a so-mething. Something. Oh, there's a space. That's what happens when I don't know. I don't have any reason for that one. I'm an editor, and so I pick each word at a time, and so when I see something like that, it takes me a second to crunch it together. I don't think any aliens are watching, but at least in the live stream or chatting. I mean, if they're watching the live stream through nefarious means, go ahead and ask Mr. Black a question. Hello, Alia Comics. Annika, I believe that aliens are too bored visiting us yet. I don't know. I believe that we've been visited. In fact, some of the stories that I've come up with are from newspaper clippings. Like one of the ones I wrote was a contest in Wattpad. It was for science fiction called Predator and Prey. And it was based on the 1946 Roswell, New Mexico crash. And I might have spoiled it for you, but if you really like that kind of stuff and you really like aliens, check out my Wattpad channel, or not Watt channel, but my Wattpad account and read Predator and Prey. It's a short, I think it was like 3,000 words is what the contest was. So it was like a real short story, but the ending of it was pretty awesome. And I think I just spoiled it, so before you read it, try to forget that. Every conscious being that would exist would eventually find the creator. Well, I believe my energy will go back to, I guess, to coin the late great George Carlin, the big electron. Actually, I believe that my bioelectric energy will be dispersed throughout the cosmos. I'm really worried about losing my consciousness, because I'd hate to think that all the things I learned throughout life will be lost. Alia Comics, I've had a weird experiences too. Mostly precognition stuff, but nonetheless weird. Ah, yes. I've had a lot of precog stuff, especially growing up. My daughter probably forgot, but one of my daughters used to have this innate ability to sense whenever her favorite cousin was anywhere in the city, even though nobody would call or we wouldn't know. She would know exactly when and where her cousin would come up, so it was pretty cool. This is the one that used to sign language in her sleep. That was one of my favorite things. Like, she was 4, I think, and I'd check on my girls at night before I went to bed, and I looked in on her, and she's doing something with her hands, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm looking closer, and she was talking in her sleep in sign language. Like, okay. We need to realize all lessons are universal. Yeah. No, I agree. Humanity, I think humanity is too full of itself. We think that we're the cockswalk. And one of these days, it's someone or some species are going to come down and kick our ass. And we're going to deserve it. It's going to be like Independence Day. But you can't say this about humans. We're like cockroaches. We can survive just about anything. I believe in anything. Cryptids, ghosts, creepypastas, aliens, and many more I bet we have seen or heard from. I guess Ari is just supernatural. Yeah. She, I don't know, she's done some, she doesn't do it nearly as much as anymore, but when she was little, she used to see and sense all kinds of stuff. I was in my office one time, and I was trying to get an EVP on my computer, so I turned up the sensitivity of the microphone, and I was asking questions. It was when we were living in a trailer that had a guy that died in it. So I spent up all night essentially talking to myself, and then I would play back. I'd talk for about 5 minutes, then go through and play it back. And towards the end of the night, I had an EVP tell me, go to bed. And I freaked out so bad that I was trying to save it, and I closed the program instead of saving, so I lost it. So I was like all kinds of depressed. Took me all night to get something from that guy. I also believe in ghosts. But I'm wondering if a lot of people mislabel like shadow entities. I don't know if they're entirely ghosts. What if they are a life form from a different dimension that we can only see to a certain extent? Kind of like dark matter. Ooh, I think I just got an idea for another story. The fun part of being a writer. All laws are universal. I wouldn't say all laws. Human laws are not universal. At least a lot of them aren't. I believe people should treat each other well. Like, don't go around killing each other. That's a good place to start. But to an alien species, we could be a lower life form. So, like how we view cattle, an alien could view us the same way. So, like, one of the things that Stephen Hawking brought up a long time ago was that aliens wouldn't come down here to eat us. So, and that one always stuck with me because I'm like, we go out and hunt not only for pleasure but for food. Who's to say that an alien species, even in their grand wisdom and advanced technology and whatever, don't view us the same way? What if they're like, we would be a great prey because we are more cognizant of our surroundings and we are more adaptive than a lot of lower life forms. But to them, we would probably be viewed the same way. So, I don't know. I think aliens would come down and hunt us like in Predator. I had a terrible experience with a succubus. For real, no bullshit. Me too. Her name was Sherry. Kidding. But there's been a few that I could label as succubi. I remember ghosts talk to you sometimes. Yeah. Yep. I've heard some. Mom's had some experiences. We're just a spiritual, supernatural family. Maybe it's like Voltron. Aliens have no time for us yet. Probably. Well, if you look at it, if you're an alien and you're looking down at the planet, would you be thinking to yourself, yeah, I'm going to visit those guys? No, we are too violent, too full of ourselves, too conceited. And I don't know. And I think another big reason why aliens haven't made a massive landing, here we are, opening is probably because the world is probably not ready for it. There would be all kinds of, I bet, mass suicides and riots and destruction. It would just turn everything on its head. Which is why I think, like, the Pope is starting to be more open to the idea of aliens because maybe they've already contacted the upper management of the world and So now they're trying to gently move us into that. I heard my deceased father's voice 4 days after his funeral. Wow, that's awesome. I had something like that. It was I had a dream about my grandma shortly after she died, and she pulled up to my dad's house. This when we were living in Utah, in her old car. It was like this old Firebird, and she told me that everything was okay and she was fine. But that wasn't the really cool one. The cool one was, this was not sleeping. I was at my friend Joe's house, and I came home. This is when I was living with my mom, and she told me that my grandma called. And this was after my grandma died. You know, like, Grandma who? And she says, Grandma Brockbank. I'm like, Grandma Brockbank died like 3 months ago. And the color in my mom's face just washed away. I mean, it was crazy. And like, either someone was playing a really cruel joke, or mom was speaking to somebody beyond the grave. Which I'm more inclined to believe. Mom's pretty supernatural like that. We are life. Yeah. Yes, we are. Getting all philosophical while you're smoking your weed. You know, I remember a long time ago, like in the 90s. Oh, someone liked something I did. Cool. Oh, this is about, okay, someone liked a comment that I wrote on a video. I've never heard of a rejection because you gave them more words. Now, that was something that I did recently. Just real quick, is someone got a rejection because they had like 40 words more than what the requirement was in Textbooker, but I've never heard that before. It was crazy. I used to add words in all the time just because it was free words to the client, but they got rejected for it, so that's nuts. Something to think about. Life is fucking everywhere. Yeah, I would have to agree. I've talked to a ghost in a girl I babysit's house. He did not talk to me. They were getting stuff. I just said hi. Yeah, that's why a lot of people freak out with ghosts and stuff like that. And I'm more of the converse with a spirit. You know, like if someone's slamming my door, throwing stuff across the house, I wouldn't freak out. I'd be more like, "Yo, what's the deal?" I don't know, it'd make me jump. I've jumped a few times from stuff, but if you keep the good frame of mind going and you start talking to the ghost instead, then A, you're not nearly as afraid, and B, you might get some answers. I've never been answered myself, but I've had stuff stop when I walked into a room and I wasn't freaking out about it. Cause I've seen some shit. Anyway, yeah. Wow. I don't remember where we were going with that conversation. I think that was a pretty good end to the conversation. You threw Easter eggs at me one time? Ah. That would suck. That's one thing I'd probably freak out over. Like if a ghost was throwing shit at me. Because you don't have anything to throw it back at. So you sit there and dodge it and wait till they get tired. Does a ghost get tired of throwing stuff? That's a question you don't see on Ghostbusters or on Mythbusters or any of those. What's that travel? The travel ghost show with this psychic. God, she drives me nuts. We wrote about ghosts in creative writing. People got creative, and the stories were awesome. Yeah. You can come up with some cool stuff, especially when a lot of it will be ran off your imagination. So you can make any rules you want, and when you start realizing that, you can come up with some cool stuff. It's like I thought I was being cool with the whole "we came from Mars" story until a movie did it. So I'm like, well, fuck, if I did it now, then they'd think I was ripping it off, or that I would get hired by Sci-Fi to write a spin-off B-rated movie. But man, I wouldn't mind writing a B-rated movie if you think about it. Sharknado has a cult following. There's 3 of them now. Did you know that? 3 Sharknado movies. A tornado made out of sharks. Speaking of people that were on meth, hey, whatever. Canada will one day be importing Ireland's cannabis, and we will all be free from stupidity. Oh, well, aren't you the optimist? Oh God, no, that's not how it works, man. I think, what would a high Canada be like? Because they're already like one of the most friendliest places on Earth. If you get them high, well, that'd be just odd. I don't know, that'd be something to see anyway. Apparently sharks are popular. Oh yeah, there's been shark movies and shark books, and Jaws is still a cult classic. I want to see the Meg, but not. I don't know. I like for the clips I've seen of the Meg, it looks pretty good. I like how all the subs in the Meg were stolen from Subnautica, or maybe Subnautica stolen from the Meg. Either way, I wonder if they're in the same universe, because they have a little sub in there that looks just like a sea moth, and then one of the subs they got in there looks really close to a cyclops. So I don't know. I noticed those kind of things. Like, oh, you ripped off a video game, you bastards. But they did come out about the same time, so I don't know which one. Oops, I don't know which one came out first, but I think that's funny. Oh. But it's stuff like that where you can come up with some good ideas for some stories. I really think I ought to expand on some of the things I've done. Like Predator and Prey was only supposed to be a 3,000 word piece that was in the sci-fi competition back in 2016. I could probably flesh that out into like a longer novel. That's a Canadian one. That was pretty cool. And I would like to continue with the Deep Space Nine Star Trek story that I wrote for the competition. I think it was a good idea. It was more like a what if, and I ended it to where I could keep going with it because that was something I wanted to do anyway. So Subnautica was first, Below Zero was last. Well, I mean in the Meg. Did the Meg come first or Subnautica? I guess I can Google that. Let's see, when did the Meg come out? The Meg came out in 2018, released August of 2018. Okay, what about Subnautica? Oh, see, Subnautica came out January 23rd of 2018. So, the Meg copied Subnautica. Betty and Barney said the Zetas come from a two-sun system, that's why they have funny eyes. Okay. Not exactly sure what that means, but see, I have issues with writing because I'll look it up and I see it's already a book or movie or something, which always makes me sad. Yeah, that's something you have to come across. But think of it this way. Don't think of it as copying somebody. Like if somebody did I might just still do the whole Mars thing, because just because somebody did something similar doesn't mean that you can't do it yourself, because you're going to add your own style, your own story, your own flow to it. And when I come across stuff like that, especially like if I'm writing for clients at Textbroker, I can write the same piece 300 different times, and every one of them will be different, even though it's covering the exact same topic. Does that mean I'm copying myself? Not necessarily. I'm changing how it's all laid out, and so it becomes something completely new. So I think we ought to try some of those stories that people have done before, because you never know. You might just create something that's far better. If you are a ghost, would you be quiet? Fuck no. I would be noisy. I wouldn't be violent, but I'd be one of those smart ass ghosts that would like put stuff in front of the television, hide your remote, stick your underwear in the freezer, stuff like that. Subnautica, it's like asking what came first, the chicken or the egg. Yeah, well, because you never know. Some game developers will pull assets from movies. I was just curious because I'm telling you, when you watch the Meg, those two subs are almost identical to what's in Subnautica. So it was kind of cool to see that Subnautica came first. So nah. So the Meg ripped off the subs. It is the new Mafia's playground. The Meg sucks. I don't know. I would have to see it. I did watch some clips on YouTube, like the end fight with the when they're shooting torpedoes at it. That's when it looked like Subnautica. So I'm kind of curious to it. Not a big shark movie lover, but there's some things that I would like to see. Like I loved Deep Blue Sea only because that scene with the Samuel L. Jackson where he's giving this speech about surviving and we will live on and all that good stuff, and then all of a sudden the shark comes up and eats him. Like that was one hell of a jump scare. That right there, why I watched the movie. And LL Cool J's speech when they're descending or ascending in the water. Does I carry a big stick? And I'm the meanest motherfucker in the valley, Lord. See, there's a lot of movies I want to watch. Like I've been really wanting to watch Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, and 3 lately. I don't know why. What did the ostrich say to the chicken? Gotta stick my head in that? I don't know what. I hope it's you have a good punchline. Oh. Guess I can close this window down. Boop. Alright. Let's see. Do you want to swap places? Is that a dad joke? I don't get it. I'm not afraid. I'm far too successful to feel awkward. What the hell does that mean? Yeah, anyway. So, is that as far as we went there? I guess so. Oh, definitely different. I figured this was going to be more about writing and stuff like that. I guess we did cover some writing questions, but Mr. Black brought in a whole new level of consciousness. Then moving on from Subnautica to the Meg. So I guess as for an AMA, I guess it's successful. Said ask me anything, so yeah, if you have any of the other questions, feel free. Think I'm getting close to wrapping this up for tonight. Still nursing my ear back to health, so I have to go put some medicine in it, and my coffee's about done and I really have to pee. Well, aliens were pretty cool. Oh, talking about the aliens? Yeah. Oh, I love talking about space and aliens and stuff like that. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with my favorite astrophysicist of all time, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think that'd be an awesome podcast. Not like he's watching, but if you're watching, I'm available anytime. I remember being on the moon with my gay friends. It's scary. God, Marianas Trenches. Ah. Yes, the Marianas Trench. Which is all kinds of real cool stuff down there. I remember being on the moon with my gay friends. Gays are aliens. Okay. Is that their slang? While they're flying around space? We're not aliens, we're gay. Like, okay. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever bakes your cookie. Alrighty. I think I'm about close to wrapping this up for tonight. It was a lot of fun. I'll be doing another live stream. I like to do these every other week. So probably not next Monday, but the Monday after. Yes, when they will come for me. Depends on what you can offer. I believe the Megalodon is still down there. Wow. I think we've only explored like maybe 10% of the ocean floor. So I bet that there's sea creatures that we thought were extinct that are definitely still alive. It's like the Loch Ness monster. I believe it is a what's that dinosaur with the long neck? Swims in the water. I bet that's what he is. Good night, Colorado skies. I don't know. Now Annika's got me sidetracked with talking about the ocean because I love the ocean too. Oh, did you see that recently that they found a 75-year-old mystery? The USS Greyback was discovered off the coast of Japan, and it was sunk in 1944. So it's pretty cool that they found it. Sorry, everyone. I must introduce myself. I'm a bit stoned. Yeah, we gathered that, man. I was pretty clued into that when you first started talking about it, so it's all good. Be stoned away, man. Plesiosaurus. I bet you that's what I'm thinking of, Annika. I believe that the Loch Ness monster is probably a plesiosaurus or a variation thereof. Because we do know that the coelacanth is still in existence, so why not a plesiosaurus? Same with the megalodon. There was that one clip that was shown on news a few years ago of that huge, giant shark going past the camera underwater that was monitoring an oil pipe. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I bet you there's all kinds of big creatures down there. I'm more afraid of what's locked in the ice, because we are running the ice shelf in Antarctica. All of our glaciers, they're melting at a rapid pace. Who's to say that there isn't some disease or bacteria or creature that can survive it that's about to be unleashed? One thing, you can freeze a goldfish, thaw it out, and it's still alive. So there's all kinds of scary shit on the way. From Blarney Castle in Ireland. Always after your Lucky Charms. I've seen that. Yeah, the shark thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You see its fins. I think that's part of what fuels my whole deep water thing. Is that I can't see past a certain distance, so I'm not really afraid of the deep water, but it's more of a very uncomfortable thing. Fuck that fool. Frosted Lucky Charms. I'll blow your ass to pieces. So. Oh. Alrighty. I am going to be wrapping it up now, I think. I'm running out of stuff to say. I don't want to sit here and just ramble on incessantly. If anybody has any other questions, that's great. That can be on for a couple more minutes. But this is why I do a lot of jump cuts in my videos, by the way. It's because I trip over my words a lot. So, and sometimes my mouth doesn't go nearly as fast as my head does, and so I don't want there to be like huge gaps of empty space when I'm doing a video. So I'll do jump cuts a lot. That terrifies me. Oh yeah, being under. That's why I bought Subnautica and Raft, is because those games will fuel my anxiety for water that I can't see through. Especially Subnautica. First time you hear a Reaper scream behind you while you're trying to mine shit when you're in a sea moth, scares the hell out of you. You gotta fear that flaming sword of judgment. Right? I am the Archangel Michael. Drop some judgment on your happy ass. It's funny. Yeah. Oh no, coffee gone. Smoke on, brother. Well, you guys have an awesome day. Same. I love being terrified. Oh, well, it depends. It depends on how terrified, because I really don't fear a lot of things. I think the only thing I fear is losing one of my children. And So like, it's kind of a bummer when you fear nothing. But that's one thing that will always be something that drives me. But it's more of being underwater and not being able to see what's coming at me. But if I'm in a Seamoth in Subnautica, I'm a really good pilot, so catch me if you can. But it's the deep water that's why I bought those 2 games. It's not really a fear; it's more like an anxiety. I'll still go out there. I still walk across the Santa Monica Pier. I would probably still swim in the ocean, but there will always be that anxiety of not being able to see so far down. And a lot of that I like to tap into when I'm writing my stories, because there's a lot of things that will drive anxiety, but not necessarily fear. So if I take that anxiety and amplify the shit out of it, it makes for a great story. That's part of what fueled me to do Predator and Prey. See ya and good night. Be safe and stay classy. Always. So he's held his breath for 500,000 years. Here, the plesiosaurus? Or who held his breath for 500,000 years? Megalodon's a fish, so he wouldn't have to hold his breath. Are we talking about being frozen in ice? Because there are some species on this planet that can be frozen in ice and still come back after you thaw them out. Which is why I'm worried about Antarctica's ice shelves melting. Who knows what level of badassery is going to come out of it. In fact, I was going to write a story on that too soon. Well, it's among my many. I've got like a folder on my computer that has like 30 or 40 ideas of stories I want to write. So I need to finish 7, which I'm working on this week. And then move on to the next. But that's really cool stuff. My mom really wants me to finish 7. And so I think I'm going to. And maybe turn that into a novel. So we'll have to see. But anywho, if I think that if we're doing it, if that's it for the night, I can be done. Captain America got frozen in time, right? Yeah, exactly. If Captain America can do it, anybody can. Captain America, I wouldn't say I'm a big follower of the comic book, but the Captain America in Marvel, the MCU, has been quite inspirational for me. Like an insomniac, I'm here all night long. Well, there you go. I don't know if you follow the channel, but if you're here all night long, I'll be back on in 2 weeks. I don't know. I think a weekly thing might be too much for me because I have so much going on, but definitely every other week I'll be on. And if you want to entertain yourself even further, I do stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Colorado Plays, and you can find that by going to coloradoplays.com. I have the Twitch feed embedded on that website. But I think tomorrow on that I'm still doing hardcore Minecraft, so might do some hardcore Subnautica this week again, because I really like that game. But yeah, if you wanted to hang out and bullshit and talk about whatever, I'll be on Twitch tomorrow, Mr. Black. So, and I stream that about the same time. With Twitch, I usually stream longer, so it's like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. my time. So right now it's 7:25. I'm a Michael by the grace of God. Nice. Me too. Michael was right as sanctuary. All the best people are named Michael. I'm actually named after my uncle Mike. I grew up with everybody saying, "Oh, were you named after the commercial, the Life Kid commercial? Give it to Mikey. He eats anything." God, do you know how long I had to live with that? That's not who I was named after. I was named after my uncle Mike. But God, yeah. Anywho, I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna go ahead and call this a night. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll be doing a video on YouTube tomorrow. It'll be Contently, and then a video on Thursday about how to get freelance writing and when you have no experience. And then Friday, I'm hoping to go back to my Fridays of reading viewer comments and just things that are coming up in the future. So, yeah, well, I'm weird and my name is weird. No, you're weird and your name's Annika. But anywho, I think that's going to do it for me today. Try to end my live stream like I do my videos. If you like the video, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to learn more about freelance writing, textbook, or WordPress, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget the notification bell. I think that's going to do it for me today. I'll see you tomorrow.